Are you having any pain when you reach overhead? Maybe you're reaching for your seatbelt and you feel a twinge or a stiffness there that you can't break through. You might be suffering from frozen shoulder. My name's Chris, I'm a physical therapist at Buffalo Rehab Group, and today I'm going to show you all things related to frozen shoulder. It's kind of a misunderstood one because the frozen shoulder is the common way to say it, but you might have heard adhesive capsulitis. Now that's a kind of a scary sounding word, but I'm here to break it down for you. First and foremost, when we talk frozen shoulder or adhesive capsulitis, it's kind of a complicated diagnosis because what goes on is when we think of the shoulder, it's a joint, right? So when I show you on the model, there's a joint that comes with it. So we have the arm bone, which is the humerus that connects to the shoulder blade or the scapula that you might know. On top of this is the clavicle with the collarbone on the right side. So there's something when we talk the joint that has to stabilize it. We want the humerus, the arm bone, to be nice and tightly connected to the scapula or the shoulder blade. That's what the capsule becomes. And for some reason, sometimes the capsule becomes inflamed and tight, and hence where we get frozen from. So really, that's what frozen shoulder is. The capsule, this white represented here, is around the shoulder, encapsulates the joint, and it keeps it nice and tight, but it gets angry sometimes, and that's what frozen shoulder is. When we talk about frozen shoulder, the most common symptoms that we hear are pain and stiffness. Now, you might have some difficulty reaching overhead or reaching to the side, maybe putting like your shirt on or buckling a seatbelt. That's very, very common because again, that capsule is tight around the shoulder. It's gonna really restrict motion. So anytime you try to go further than what your arm wants you to do, that's when pain comes in. So that's the most common symptoms of frozen shoulder. So one of my favorite exercises for frozen shoulder involves working on what connects to the shoulder, meaning the shoulder connects to the shoulder blade, connects to your mid-back or your thoracic spine. So to free the shoulder up, we're gonna wanna work that mid-back to best support the shoulder, right? So here I have a pillow, and it's something just without weight, just a pound or two with anything. That could be a basketball or a pillow or a tissue box, that works fine. And all I'm gonna do is work on rotating through my mid-back from my right side to my left side, and my head wants to follow. So it should look something like this. And I'm just going to my left and to my right. My head isn't moving in front. Everything's working together, nice and easy. So when I instruct this exercise, I feel a nice stretch in my mid-back, but I like 20 repetitions, meaning 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 to 2 sets is fine a handful of times a day, usually 3. So one of my other favorite exercises for frozen shoulder involves what we call military posture. And what we're trying to get out of this one is oftentimes when we see frozen shoulder, we tend to have a little bit more creep forward. Our shoulders are a little bit more rounded. The chest comes forward. We want to go from here to here, and that's going to offload tension on the shoulder and help out with that capsule that's inflamed. So how I'm going to do that, I'm going to start just facing down with my palms up, and I want to have my neck nice and relaxed. And what I want to do is I always pretend that there's a stick running down the vertical part of my back between my shoulder blades, and real gently I want to squeeze that stick. So my shoulder blades should feel like they're pulling in together. I'm going to hold it for 10 seconds and then relax. Then do it again real gently. Hold it for 10 seconds and relax. Just from a different angle. Facing this way, squeeze those shoulder blades together and relax. Squeeze them together and relax. Like I said, when I perform this one, I like a 10-second hold with 10 repetitions. 3 times a day is usually pretty good with this one. And if you think you need a little bit more help with frozen shoulder and how you can get your life back, head to buffalorehab.com and we'll hook you up with one of our physical therapists.